I'm thinking, how am I going to introduce the speaker for today? Are there enough superlatives that I can come up with? I finally had to give up and just say, it's the love of my life, my wife, Kathy Bornino.
Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely to see all your awake faces. I hope you stay that way. And I'm always delighted at the way the spirits play with us, and I realize that my talk goes right with the word of the day, resilience, right with the reading on non-judgment, and right with the second spiritual principle of we are all spiritual beings, and there's good in all of us, God is in all of us, even though sometimes we go, really? So, our theme for the month is understanding, and I would like to approach this from the bottom up, which is to say, standing under. I think that the grand orderly designer, God, when God deigned to give the humans language, she also gave us the spirit to play with words. And we can gain a lot by playing with words. 50 plus years ago, when I was a high school English teacher, my favorite section to teach was poetry, because it's the language of the soul, the language of spirit. And if we can play with words, I think the definition of a poet is, I've heard, I didn't make this up, somebody who likes to hang around words and listen to them talk to each other. So if we can play with words, we give the spirit room to loosen up our thoughts and to invite in right brain images and insights. So I invite you to play with me. So, standing under suggests to me the ground, or standing underground or on the ground. And grounding is a powerful force to help us understand and be at peace. So I invite you to do a grounding exercise with me. If you've already done this one, you may have done it many times. Don't worry, because the more we do it, the better we get at it. So it's never wasted. Nothing in the universe is wasted. And that is the exercise of pretending, imagining yourself to be a tree. So if you want to let yourself close your eyes or just defocus your eyes and feel your energy penetrating down through your feet, into your shoes, down through your shoes, into the rug, into the flooring under it, and down into the ground. And now we are developing more sophisticated instruments that really could pick up your vibrations that have extended down into the ground. So we'll just know that. That's emerging research. So feel your energy penetrate down into the ground. You have roots. And you can pick up nourishment from the ground. And the ground, the soil, is a whole ecosystem, very alive, with many forces intertwining. If you ever get a chance to watch or read The Secret Life of Trees, you get a wonderful sense of that. So you reach down into the security of deep roots in our Mother Earth and the soil. And then bring that ease up and feel that you have a trunk that's steady and solid. It may sway slightly in the wind, but it is steady and solid. And you have branches with leaves that reach up into the breeze. and can take in the light, and from the breeze can take in inspiration, intuitive insights. So just breathe, being a tree. And just notice any tiny, slight little change in your energy. If you feel it, know you can build on that. If you don't feel it yet, know that it will come with practice. It's a powerful grounding. So you can rejoin me with your eyes open if you want. And know that our bodies are electrical appliances. Within us, messages in our cells travel electrically from pole to pole. Between cells, it travels chemically, but within cells, it travels electrically. And so we need that grounding wire, just like the toaster, so we don't fry our brains or any other organs. So it's so valuable to practice standing under, grounding. There's another practice I'd like to share with you. This one comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, who I credit with peace in Vietnam. When I visited Vietnam, I was so surprised at the peace and serenity and happiness and creativity of the people. I go, wow, because that's not the experience of the soldiers we still have, who were there. So, and even though Vietnam expelled Thich Nhat Hanh, his work and his teachings pervaded that country. So this is a very simple little exercise that always helps me ground right in the moment. And that is to say, for any situation you find yourself in, dilemma with yourself, with another person, whatever the situation, what quality could benefit me right now? Or what quality could benefit the situation right now? Maybe you're trying to pay bills and going, oh, blank, I need abundance. So you ask your right brain to give you an image or a symbol of abundance. Maybe it's a shower of gold or green $1,000 bills. Whatever, it's an image. So you breathe in the image and you breathe out the name of the quality. So simple. Or like if I find a situation where I need calm, my favorite image is a very still lake. I like to go camping and I like to see lakes. So still, the top is a mirror of the sky. So I breathe in that image, I breathe out calm. So I invite you now to take a moment to imagine a situation that comes up for you, a dilemma, either within yourself or with another person, or maybe something in your family, some situation you encounter. Maybe you encounter it, repeatedly. And ask yourself, what quality might help that situation? Ask and ye shall receive. Sometimes it takes a bit to get an image because we haven't set up enough communication with our right brain. But it's like a very willing dog that you can train. It wants to do. So you ask it, give me an image or a symbol for that quality. And then you just breathe in that image or symbol. You breathe out the quality. Again, you breathe out in that image or symbol. You breathe out that quality. And one more time, you breathe in that image or symbol, and you breathe out that quality. And then just notice if there's any tiny increase in that quality that you can sense or feel in yourself. And again, even if you can't quite feel it yet, know that it's there and it's building. And the more you practice it, the more your brain knows what you want it to do, and it does that. And you can begin to really feel you suddenly have more of that quality, which makes you more resilient in the moment, more able to remember the spiritual principles, more able to practice them, more secure in your I am presence within you, which is also an instrument of grounding. More able to feel secure in a situation, more able to stand on the ground or stand under the situation. And the more we do that, the more it helps us develop awareness of natural laws, the cycles of nature, and more confidence in them. More confidence that things will evolve, things will shift and change, because they do. They come in cycles. You know, I've lived 36 years on country property, and I guarantee you, every year the weeds come. Every year the mice come to eat the seeds from the weeds. Every year the owls and the hawks come to eat the mice so they can feed their babies. And I have come to know deeply that long after I'm gone, the weeds will come, the mice will come, the owls and hawks will come. And, you know, if I stand under the sky at night, I stand under, I see the stars, and I know, oh, I'm sure glad somebody knows what they're doing. You know, they're not colliding. They're all moving around in some splendid, grand orderly design. Standing under them, standing under the tree, feeling the soil and the cycles of nature gives me a kind of confidence. Another great word to play with. It means faith with. I have faith with the owls. They come and help with the mice. I have faith with the weeds, even though I change their places. I am glad green comes. I have faith in the soil. You know, research shows that if you leave damaged soil alone, it repairs itself. Wonderful stuff. And of course, soil is humus, from which we get the word humility. And I think healthy humility is a superpower because standing in the soil, standing under a tree, standing under the stars helps us go, oh, I don't have to have it all figured out. Somehow it's all okay. Somehow I can begin to draw in useful insights. I can begin to use standing under to understand. I can begin to understand another person who I haven't felt an affinity with by calling on that ability to bring in a quality that's useful, to ask my right brain for insights. I can imagine if I was in that person's shoes, if I saw things from that person's perspective, if I understood that person's situation from their history, if I had any feeling with them, which is another word to play with, the word compassion, to feel with. It's a little bit different than empathy, which is feeling into. Some people are natural empaths, some are not, but we can all imagine what a person might be feeling and use that gift of imagination, of mind play, to develop compassion. And compassion feeds understanding, and understanding feeds compassion. And I can say with great conviction, in all my years, I have never met a person or thought about a person who didn't make sense to me. Because if you practice putting yourself in someone else's situation with all their history, you may or may not know it, but you can sense that, oh, they make sense from their perspective. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it, but it gives us, standing in their shoes, more understanding. The Native Americans have a proverb, don't judge another person until you have walked a mile in their moccasins. You have actually been in their situation, having to manage day by day. Then you come to more understanding. Even if it's not completely right, it still gives you a sense that somehow they make sense. They are spiritual beings doing the best they can with what they know, what they have, what they feel. So that builds a kind of faith in human nature evolving and helps us get to the point, closer to the point that Blessed Julian of Norwich got to. If you're not familiar with her, she was a 14th century anchorite in Norwich, England. An anchorite was a woman who lived attached to a church. They literally built a cell attached to the church wall. People would bring her food, and they would go to her for prayer and support and guidance. Well, Julian had a series of visions of Jesus in which Jesus showed her, she called them showings, showed her and spoke to her and explained how everything in his life had to be just the way it was. Everything made sense. Everything was all right. It was all good. And the last lines of his showings to her was, all is well, and all shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. I think that's a powerful mantra. And when we repeat it and, we let ourselves be a tree or whatever works for us, and we call in moment to moment, what would help me understand this? What quality would help me right now? We get more to that, oh, I may not completely understand it, but all is well. It's a kind of positive, reassuring humility that's a great relief. That everyone makes sense. Of course, there are many ways to understand other people. There are whole systems. They're all useful, including true astrology or the Enneagram. And you'll have an offering, I think, of a course coming to you on the Enneagram. But that's another topic. For now, we just need to know there are simple things we can do to broaden our understanding and our peace and our positive humility, healthy humility. Now, you may find that as you do this, you get better at it and you get a lot of information coming in. So much information about other people or situations that it feels like information overload. TMI. We live in the age of information and disinformation. And now our technology is making things up, hallucinating. Our technology's gone psychotic. Do we have antipsychotic medication for our technology? But fortunately, we're a step ahead of that if we use our steps. And so a very similar exercise that you can use if you feel flooded with too much feeling from someone else or too much information about a world situation or a family member or a neighbor, whoever, you can go, oh, TMI, and you ask yourself, what do I actually need to know right now? Or what should I focus on right now, at this moment? You get quiet, you breathe, you've sent this request to your right brain that actually sees the whole and filters better. It doesn't get caught up in all the details. And it sends you back an image or a word that is what would be important to know or focus on right now. You breathe that in, maybe you breathe a few times. Go, oh, I really just need to focus on this. And then as you breathe out, you let the rest go. It will not get lost. Nature doesn't waste anything. If you need it later, rest assured, your brain filed it away. Your right brain will send it to you later if you need it. So you can let all the rest of the information go and just focus on what spirit guides you through image or word to focus on right now. And that's, another form of grounding. And it's good for us to remember the Gospel's guarantee: the meek shall inherit the earth. Those who are of the soil, who are grounded, who can harmonize with nature. We shall inherit the earth. So I invite you to play in the common ground in which we all live and move and have our being, as Meister Eckhart said. Have fun playing with words and images that help us have confidence in all the human evolving soul. Thank you.